You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, certified life coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing leadership insights from Trailblazing Women, lessons from our recent Women in Leadership Conference. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, let's dive right in because today I am excited to share some key takeaways from the recent Women in Leadership Conference that I attended in Florida. And the conference, the people, the entire package truly left me inspired and energized. Now, this conference brought together some of the most accomplished women, including Tamala Oates Forney, Carla Harris, love Carla, Maggie Cook, Joanne Bass, Dr. Stephanie Kirkland was amazing, and one of my favorite Peloton instructors, Allie Love. Now, they all shared insights on leadership, growth, embracing like yourself, your multifaceted self, and really owning that. So whether you're leading a team or striving to lead yourself to a higher version of who you want to become, today's episode is packed with lessons and actionable steps, because I know we all like to take some action and check off the list, right? So actionable steps to help you grow, inspire others, and this is probably most important, stay aligned with your purpose. Now, I'm sharing based on some of my notes over the past 4 days of the experience. So there's really no particular order. In fact, if you ever see my notes, you might wonder what the heck goes on in this chaotic brain of mine. But I do think that the things that resonated most are what will make a difference for you also. So to get started, this idea of speaking up or missing out. And it was one of the standout messages early in the experience that was really talking about the importance of, listen, if you don't start speaking, you may no longer be invited to the table, right? Like, let that land. We need to start speaking up when we have the opportunities. And as leaders and aspiring leaders, we often hesitate to share our voices because we worry about whether we're ready or if we're qualified, but clarity is on you. If you want to own your path, you have to define it and start speaking up for what you believe in. And sometimes that owning it and defining it is some of the most challenging work that we do. Now, silence can unintentionally give others permission to define that path for you. And I think that's what happens so often, right? We look to others to define what success is, what we should be doing, but it is on you to define that. And we even hear things like, if you don't plan your time, someone else will, right? There's all these different kind of quotes and sayings out there, but it is true. You need to have clarity around what is important to you in this season of your life. And know that there is no right or wrong answer, right or wrong answer. Sometimes I get so excited, right? I just keep on going. But the answer is what you decide it to be. That is the key. So ask yourself, what do I stand for? How do I want others to think of me? Who do I want to become? What daily habits do I need to start doing or stop doing in order to become her? So really take the time to think about those questions. What do you stand for? What do you want others to think of you? Who do you want to become? And what daily habits do you need to either start or stop doing in order to become her? And I have to say, a super helpful gift for you to get started with this is the It's Your Time Priority Playbook. I want you to head over to michelleburkecoaching.com/my time. Now remember, Burke is Bourque. And over there, you will get a free download. It has an opportunity for you to plan out a month, a week, a day. It has journal prompts. It has information as to the importance of planning your day. And I really want it to be like a soup to nuts guide for your life where you can excel in your career just as you are, but also be able to do more of what you want. So again, michelleburkecoaching.com/my time. Please check it out, share it, and start implementing it. And even with that, right, even with the planning guide, there is no right or wrong way to use it. It's the way that works the best for you because I have so much in there. You do not have to do all of it. You do what works for you. Just like leadership isn't about having all of the answers, right? Like we do not always have to have all of the answers. It's about showing up authentically and building trust by speaking your truth. So, even as simple as a daily step of using the planner is you showing up in a way that works best for you, you showing up with aligned action in order to build trust for yourself. Okay, another idea that landed for me, the power of people and purpose. Now, Carla Harris spoke about people being your light before you are. So this reminded me of how essential it is to find like mentors and advocates and allies who see your potential before you might fully recognize it yourself. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Carla Harris, but I would totally suggest that you check her out. She is amazing. She talks about being your multifaceted self. She talks about inspiring others and giving your power away. And she said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I freaking love that. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Let that land. Nominate others and lift as you climb. I think that is so important because growth doesn't happen in isolation, and inspiring your team truly can multiply your impact. When you're able to give your power away, then you are able to grow also. And she talked about the importance of defining success for your team, anticipating their needs, positioning failures as stepping stones, and celebrating efforts, even mistakes, because each mistake brings growth and innovation. And speaking of mistakes, we all need resilience, I think, right? And the openness to consider reinvention. So, in order to build resilience, what if we're open to reinventing, to taking those stepping stones, to failing along the way, and to not making it mean anything about you? Here's the thing, resilience and relationships are at the core of long term success. Another one of my favorite takeaways was this: chaos breeds opportunities. So when challenges arise, they often carry the seeds of growth. And fear has no place in your success equation. So whether it's failure or uncertainty, use those moments to learn or maybe to pivot. Take this to heart. Every no brings you closer to a yes, and every failure gives you the gift of knowledge or clarity. Think about the track record of firsts that you have achieved in your life and your career. If you've done it before, you can do it again. I love that. I love, love, love. And I also love when she talks about leadership being a team sport, and inclusivity is non negotiable. So, one great tip that we discussed is that everyone is involved to assign each person a point of view. Like if you're at a meeting when you're discussing a topic, so actively solicit voices from your team. So what it might look like is you're sitting at the table, you're talking about a topic, and as you start, you clarify and say, hey, Brendan, I love your perspective on this. Sherry, would you build on that point? Hey, Timmy, let's have you play devil's advocate here. So it not only empowers your team, but it builds trust and fosters a culture where everyone feels valued. And it is so important to hear different perspectives, right? We learn from others, we can grow, but let me be clear, we hear different perspectives on a variety of topics, and we also remain clear on who we are. And I love what Allie Love talked about. She said that her and Jen Sherman, another Peloton instructor, often will say, if everyone likes you, you're doing it wrong, right? Because she talks about the importance of being you, not trying to blend in with everyone else, and really emphasize the importance of protecting your peace, setting boundaries, and that having it all doesn't mean that you have to have it all at once. So really looking to do 2 or 3 things really well. You guys, Allie, by the way, was the instructor who gave me my shout out on my 200th ride from Peloton, but not to worry. I didn't go crazy hunting her down for a picture or anything like that. But what I will say is that I appreciate how real she was. And especially when she was talking about growing up and needing to get A's and how that shaped her belief, like the need to get A's equated to being loved or equated to a level of worthiness or success. Y'all know I have done this work for a long time between coaching, therapy, friends, right? that landed. And I'm sure it does for so many of us because growing up, it was often a need, right, for us to get an A. And even if we're in sales, right, the need to always hit the number. Let that land. Your worthiness is not based on a number. Okay, finally, I want to end with the importance of breath work, a tool that I use and have talked about here. Maggie Cook, again, check her out. Also, an amazing story. She talked about the importance of breath work and how it's not about calming the mind, it's about future casting and building in yourself. So it's not just about calming the mind, it's also about future casting and building belief in yourself. And I will tell you, that was the thread of the entire meeting for me. That is my take home, belief in yourself. And I will add that belief can be built from borrowing belief others have in you to begin. At the end of each day, I also had the privilege of being part of a learning team. So there were about 20 women, amazing facilitators, and we talked about where we could integrate all of the learnings of the day into our lives. And it was so empowering. Some said it was actually like a sisterhood that was formed. And if we think about what a sisterhood is, well, at first I was thinking, my sister, she never wants to talk about these things. Actually, let's put the entire family in that category. So I think that having this opportunity to speak with women, to think about what a sisterhood is, like a deep bond of trust, support, connection between women who uplift and empower one another. And I do see that in my coaching world as well. It's just so fun to see another group of folks who want to share that sense of belonging, where individuals can come together and to celebrate success and to navigate challenges and create a collective strength that fosters growth, authenticity, and compassion. Sisterhood transcends the differences, right? Emphasizing unity and mutual respect and the belief that when one woman rises, we all rise. And that, at the end of the day, is what I think is so important. It's exactly what the conference was all about. I feel so fortunate to have been part of it. Not only the larger conference, but the learning teams that I was a part of. And let me tell you, after over 18 years of being here, especially after this experience, I still have the thought, it's just the beginning. Okay, that's what I have for you today. If today's takeaways inspired you, share this episode with someone who could use a little extra motivation. Please, you know I'm always talking about the importance of the ripple effect. And remember, leadership isn't about having all of the answers. It's about showing up with authenticity, clarity, and a willingness to grow. Let's do this together. Until next time, make it your time. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.